This is Cobalt Z. Welcome back to Pirates of the Burning Sea. Since these videos have been fairly popular on my channel, I thought I would bring you another one. I don't think I've talked about this very beginning issue at all yet. There are two servers, as you see there. There's Roberts and there is Antigua. The Roberts, as you see, is kind of a European server, but honestly, they're both European servers. I can't speak as to where either is based, so I will not speak to that. But just as an FYI, there are two different servers for you to play on. I cannot say if there's been any talk of server mergers or anything at all like that. The game didn't crash. I continually have issues with games crashing when I'm alt-tabbing back and forth between my recording software and etc. So, I wanted to talk today, excuse me, mainly about the PvP side of things again. We've looked at this screen before. This is a conquest screen. It shows the various points everyone has. There's a recent events here that shows what units have been conquered or are being conquered, etc. And then there's this port status screen which I don't recall if we looked at before or not. I will click show peaceful. There's a bunch of sliders essentially up here. I can click personal and it will show all of the towns where I personally have contention points, basically is the way to call this. And then it will show also, for example, Santa Clara, which is near where I am, as the French have 1,200 points there. I have 179. Your personal contention points basically is how you get invited to a port battle. So that's something to keep in mind. The PvP, the major part of the PvP, i.e. the port battles, is primarily intended for level 50s. I've said before 50 is the max. This character is a 24. He would not be any help at all in a port battle. But even though he won't be help at all in a port battle, there are still things even a lower level can do that assist your nation in the overall PvP scheme. One of those I've talked about before is just the economy part of it. You can produce items that are necessary so people in your faction can build bigger ships, etc., etc. And you can also, let me just talk about how do you PvP if you want to. You need to talk to the port captain. If you click on the port captain, one of the main things is right there, enable my PvP flag. I can do that. I could do that right now. And then if I go sailing, anyone who is also PvP enabled can attack me if they so choose. I won't do that right now, but let me talk about another way, another thing you can do. What was Santa Clara has 1,200 French. So if I sail to Santa Clara, I have to remember where that is. It's down. Is that it? Is that it? Oh, where is it? One thing you can do, by the way, I maybe showed you this little list. You can just slide down and it will show you. So show me, where is it? Oh, it's right here. So the French have 1,200 points. That probably means that the French are trying to take over Santa Clara. So let me just sail to Santa Clara. Because if I go to Santa Clara, which is pirate owned, so in other words it's owned by my faction. I hope you aren't seeing all of this about my audio at the bottom of the screen. If you are, I apologize. It's not very pretty. Let's just click Santa Clara here. It's one of the easiest ways to see it. Should be. Did I click it? Oh no, I think I have to do it on this one. I know pretty much where it is. There it is. Now it should show up. Right? Did it show up? Yeah, there we go. It's going the wrong way. So we will sail to Santa Clara, and then what I can do there is I can attack NPC French ships, and that will, because the whole thing about you have to gain enough contention to be able to attack a port. I mentioned that the last time. I forget the actual numbers, but I think the one level is like 3,000 and the other is maybe 6,000. I don't know. I've said before I haven't really done the PvP part of this game. But if I go there and attack French ships, I believe, at least, if my memory is correct, that I can whittle away at that contention and reduce it. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. I want to check something here. The game used to have, and I hear they're trying to bring these back slowly. I don't know when. Used to have a bunch of cool ships, flags and sails. Like, see, I have here, I don't know how well you can see that. I have the Dead Day flag. It should be right here, but they took all of that as gone when Portalist took over. I don't know how long it'll take to bring them back, but I loved... Oh, I have an English pirate flag. I didn't even... But see, they're not showing up now because they don't exist anymore. Some of them were really cool, like historic pirate-looking flags. I don't know if any sail patterns... Some of the sail patterns do still work. See, there's flag 1. Pirate 1, there's... Yeah, that's about all. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, I don't know if you noticed, by the way, it says I am in the Runners Collective. That's a society that I started. I'm in it by myself, basically, with alts. This is a friend of mine, this level 3 here. She's the same friend, by the way, who I might as well say, I don't think I've said it. She is my daughter. She's the same one who plays Minecraft with me. And the rest of these, I think, are just my alts. Societies are a big thing in this game. They're like a kin or a guild in another game. And you can see here there's a society wallet that at certain ranks you can deposit to, etc. This influence down here, our society has only 318 influence, which is very little. But this is part of how people run for mayor, is by bidding basically influence. This game seems a little... Seems like I'm stuttering a little bit. That might be because I'm not full frame. So we'll go to Santa Clara. Another thing that you can do, there's a couple of other things you can do to reduce port contention. One thing is most of the ports, as far as I know, all that can be taken, also do have a mission, which is basically patrol the port. It's an NPC mission, so again, if you're not ready to do PvP, you can do this as a lower rank and still help your nation. I'll see if there's a port defense mission, and if there is, I will try to do that. Oh, in chat, this guy's name is Primitive Rum. I should invite him to the Rum Runners collection. That would be our collective. That would be perfect. There are some really big and frankly long established societies in this game. I always tend to be a solo player in most games. Some games are good for that. Some games are less good. But if you're interested in being in a society, there are some big ones around. I know there's a pirate one. It's the one that owns... It's the one that owns one of these towns here. Let me see, I can't recall the name. Nope. Raiders of the Cursed Rose, or Cursed Rose, there is a big pirate society. If you sail around as a new pirate near Cat Island and that whole area, what is essentially the Bahamas, you can pretty easily get an invite to them. Some of them, like I say, have been around for years and have hundreds of members. One way that people level, I don't think I've said this, especially pirates, I can't say as much for the other nations, but one way that pirates tend to level is a group of 2 or 3 50s will take a bunch of, really low-level pirates along in a group and then attack some of these big fleets. Like, is that one? No. But you've seen maybe, or I've talked about, there are big national fleets of like 6 or even 8 ships, or sometimes more, that are NPC ships, but they're all level 50 or some occasionally higher, I think. And the 50s will sink those while the smaller ships just try to stay out of the way, basically, and it's a way of leveling. You can also level to a large degree by missions. I haven't talked about missions all that much. Where's my mission log? You can see here, I have a bunch of missions. Including one that's still a level 5 that I have yet to do, but missions, let's just pick one at random. See, here's a mission that if you perform this particular mission, you get 1,500 doubloons, which is the currency of this game, and you get 480 experience points. As in most games like this, at lower levels, you gain levels faster. See, I have 293 of 5,300. So to get to level 25, I need about 5,000 points still. Like, see, here's a patrolling British fleet of 8 ships. They're level 65. That's the type of NPC fleet that groups like that go after. Now, I want to come to Santa Clara here and just look for, I want to make sure there's not a PvP circle around it yet, which there isn't. Now I'm just going to kind of heave to in nautical terms, basically. Of course, pirate, Spanish. Because it's the French who have the points there, I want to attack French ships. As far as I know, that's the main way that I can whittle away. And also, in doing that, of course, then I have so much trouble finding that screen. Then I would gain, I already have some points here, but by sinking French ships near here, I will gain more points. And ultimately, if I stayed here long enough, I might have enough points to get invited to a port battle that takes place here. Although, as I've said, there's a little French ship. Is very tiny. This isn't going to help me much or anyone, but I'll try to attack them. You have to be within a certain radius of the town. Honestly, I don't remember that amount, but in the general kind of area of the town in order to have this work. These are pretty small, so these aren't going to do much. They aren't going to give me many experience points or anything, but I will take a swing at this. Yeah, see, they're 3 level 5s, so I'll be able to sink these pretty fast. Let's see, I feel like there's something else I wanted to say about the PvP part. Oh, one way that people gain contention points in a port is by flagging PvP, grouping, and then essentially they blockade the port by sitting outside it, at anchor essentially, and doing so just builds contention points. I've done a little bit of that. Like I've said, I have an account that has mainly French on it. My highest character in this game is that one of those Frenchmen. He's a 44. Let's said before that I might show you him, and sometime I still actually might do that, but see, there's one gone. I don't think I'm even going to try to use my whatever it's called, my scavenge ability on these, because I'm not going to get much that I care about. I may. But see, look, how are these level 5s even doing anything to my armor? That surprises me. Oh, let's take my loot. What do we get? I got beans. Lovely, right? Beans. Nope, sorry, I'm not going to go there. Well, I mean, I already did go there, right? But I'm not going to go there all the way. Sometime, maybe I should show a video that just deals with the production side of things. The economic side. I talked about that some, especially in the second video I did. Okay, shitty shit. I've modulated my language a lot. I don't know if you notice or aware or appreciate. I know some people don't care at all about swearing in these videos. I have tried, because I don't know what my audience is, to at least not throw the F word around like I have been inclined to do at times. Shitting seems to be my go-to word in the videos for the moment. It's probably not going to offend anybody, right? I guess ultimately, because it's a weird thing. You put these out, and I have no idea what age people are going to watch these. Well, and I can throw the F word around, but then some poor kid's mother is going to come in and say, Billy, you can't watch that anymore. And Billy's going to be like, oh, Mom, I love Cobalt Z. And she's going to be like, Billy, I forbid it. And I don't really want that to happen. First of all, I doubt anyone loves me, but if you do, I don't want your mother to pop in, right? Or your father, or your aunt, or your grandmother, or whatever. Alright, come on, let's see this last one. I should check. I want to keep this kind of floating up here so that I can see if my points go up or down. They should a little bit. The only problem is now I can't see, and I can't seem to move this. Oh well, fire away. Fire. No. When the shit are they going to be loaded? Dang it. Hold on. That's a bit awkward. I wish I could move this or shrink it. So let's just remember, I have 191 and the French have 1220. Okay? I, of course, will forget that, but you watching will probably be able to remember. I just want to see once this is done if I have any more, if the French have any less. Theoretically, that should be how it works, or maybe the French won't have less, but the pirates will have more. And eventually, you know, if I stayed here for a long time just sinking French ships, I don't know if it actually decreases theirs, but it increases ours, and therefore makes it harder for the French to actually attack here. Come on, lads. Oh, I talked a couple times, I think, about the damage modeling of damage in this game, but not while I was playing. You see those holes on my sails, obviously. That's coming from damage that they're probably firing some kind of a shot that I haven't talked about any of the different ammo types and what they do, but there's chain shot and stuff which cuts up sails. There, I thought I saw one right there. And if you see, I don't know how well you can see this, but my sails are at 85%. There you can actually see the number 1289 out of 1500. And it's a tactic that can be used. Oh, now here, also, I want to say this. I said if you sail into the wind, you won't go anywhere. That's technically not correct. You do go somewhere, but as you can see, you go back fairly slowly. I'm facing pretty much dead into the wind, and my speed is, you know, rather about 5 knots, which is honestly unrealistic, but it's a lot slower than I can go when I'm not going into the wind. And you see the sails hang limp. So many games I have played don't have realistic modeling of sails at all. Now see how they're turning over? That's how a real sailboat, real sails act. Because you get the wind coming in from this right side pretty sharp, and the sails are all turned over that way. Watch, I'll come around this way and head directly toward that, and you see the sails will square. See that? That is a really impressive visualization of how sails actually work. Now granted, I haven't sailed a square master, which is what this is called. You know, I don't know if you do know. Anything with square sails like this is called a square-masted ship, or sometimes like what? And sometimes what they're called is determined on how many masts they have. Any ships like this sail at the rear here is more of a lateen rig. In other words, fore and aft. I'm getting beat to shit by these level 5 ships. It's because I'm not paying attention. But anything that's lateen rigged, I assume lateen comes from some derivation of related to like Latin or Latinate, because they were popular in the Mediterranean. These fore and aft type sails, you can go at a better angle into the wind with those type sails than you can otherwise. And that is all modeled here. I think I've showed you this. If I hit C for my character and ship tab, in here is sailing at my speed and acceleration, and all that is best point. My best point is at 135 degrees, which, you know, if the wind is north pretty much, or south, which it is, then west is 90. Right about here would be in between, so 135 is kind of on the wind. Here, I'll show you. Oh, I gotta raise him. So see now, with the wind on my left side here, right, I'm at about 90 degrees. Now if I keep going, I'll reach closer to 135. Actually, my math is not great, but somewhere in there. And this would be my fastest speed. But all that is modeled. In the square fore and aft rigged ships, their best point is usually about 90 or thereabouts, because they're designed to go better at that speed. Let me check this now. See, what did I have? I don't remember. I said I wouldn't remember, but I think it's gone up, hasn't it? I don't think the French has gone down. I don't remember. I think I had 191 maybe. But as we discussed, that has gone up. And if I just sit here and do this, now let me take a look at what says. That's what I just looked at. Did that go down also? Nah. There's just a shit ton of pirates here. Now, I can attack British here, and I don't... That builds my personal contention at Santa Clara. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop, stop. I'm not going to be able to catch them, probably. Oh. How'd they go into the port from way the shit out there? Let's just see if I can catch one more French ship in the waters of Santa Clara. I do not want to see the little level 5. By the way, this is a really popular area, as you can see. Actually, there's a ton of ships here. I'll go to the global map. In between Santa Clara and kind of the west end of Cuba is a popular area because it's the only straight into the southern Caribbean here. Just like here between Tortuga and kind of San Domingo is another one. Here's one, a famous one too, between the island of Puerto Rico and the east end of what was called Hispaniola. What is it called here? I don't recall. Those three are the only entrances into the southern Caribbean from the northern. Here, and here, and then of course through here you can go. And historically, especially through here, was a really popular spot for pirates to hang out. Partly because Tortuga is right there. So, they would live at Tortuga, and then they would just set sail and go through this area and then pop back into Tortuga. Okay, I'm a bit lost now. Where did Santa Clara go? There it is. Oh, what's this? Ah, French privateer. Oh, they're turning around now. Dang. I have to get back into Santa Clara waters. Actually, what I'll do when I get there is I will go in and see if they have the patrol the port mission, and if so, I'll do that. I really need to set up some system to monitor how long these videos are, because currently I don't. I just kind of get a feeling like, well, I better stop. I want to try to do that port patrol mission or whatever it's called first, and that'll probably be the end of this video. There's so much in this game, as I've said in all three of these videos now, and I'll do a video and then I think, well, there's a lot I didn't talk about, and then I do a video and I think there's still a lot I didn't talk about. So let's just pop in here. Santa Clara. Now I gotta find the harbor. Let's see, what is he called? It's not the port master, because he's the guy select to go PvP. Port captain. Oh wait, port captain? Yeah, see, and I don't want to do that. I want to find the garrison commander or something. See, here's a little French dude. He's a naval officer. He's probably building up. He's probably one of the ones trying to get the capture going here. Where is the garrison commander? I think is who you need to find. Is he back here? Excuse me. That's not him. All these are quests, obviously. Where the shit is the garrison commander? He's not going to be in. Their shop is right here, but I don't think he's going to be in the shop. He usually, I don't know, where he is varies. I shouldn't say usually at all. That's the harbor master. That's the guy to enter my dockyard and so on. So he's not who I want either. This guy just has kind of information. You can read headlines and stuff. To be honest, I don't know if any of that really matters at all. There's the fisher dude. Ah, shit, I'm gonna have to go back here. Some of these ports are a little convoluted. This one is. Let's see, I had a feeling he's over here. There's a cutthroat trainer. What do I have? I'm not a cutthroat. Why does he have a... There's a smuggler's union thing. This looks like him, doesn't it? What is he? Ah, shit. Well, if I can't find him, I will just forget about it, right? No, I don't need any more quests right now. I'm full up on quests. He should have an exclamation thing over his head, but I'm not seeing him, and I just don't want to spend a lot of time dicking around here trying to find him. Well, I know, I just really don't want to. So this is just another update. on a little bit more of how the port contention system works, and how even as a low-level character, there are some things that you can do that make a difference. I wish I could find him, because you have options like, there, in addition to the missions, there are some things you can turn in certain items that will diminish the contention and whatnot, but I don't see him here at all, which is rather annoying. Sometimes it's just not easy to find, and this is one of those times. Theoretically, if I just look at all these, I'll find him, but I really, even if I find him, I don't want to run all the way back there. Oh, the governor's clerk. Let me, since I'm here, let me just talk about the governor's clerk issue. I said before, where's my run ability? Let's just run. Oh, of course, I don't have it here. Yeah, I do. It's right there. Let's run, mate. Run. Now I don't want to lose track of where he is. She is, normally. Okay, she's right back here. There she is. Now, I mentioned you can run for governor of most of these ports. And this is the governor's clerk. And if I click on her, she's rather interestingly dressed. Here's all kinds of information about port elections, how things work. Oh, see, there's current bidding going on for the who's going to be governor. Now, see, the minimum bid is 11. The current highest bid is only 10. So actually, my societies per se do not give influence. But see, I can't move that. But the society could donate this influence to me, and then I could use that influence to bid, like, however much that was. You know, if the current bid is 10, I could bid 15 or 20 or whatever. And then this person, this Kaguyua Wild Wolf, well, that's an odd name for a pirate if you ask me, would probably come back and check and be like, oh, somebody outbid me. Who is this Bartholomew Rogers dude? And then eventually there's a time on it, as you saw. Bidding ends, and then there goes into closed biddings or whatnot. But all of this is talked about here. What do governors do? I've never been governor, so I can't speak to this. How do you become a governor, etc.? And then what is influence? There's just all kinds of here. How do elections work? All of this, most of the detail about things like that you might be interested in is pretty easily obtainable in the game. Speaking of that, one other thing you should know if you have played this game, F1 is your friend. I just hit F1. It's kind of the help menu in a way. It's got all kinds of things in it. I'm not going to look at all of those, but let's look at, this is one I look at a lot, frankly, ship deeds. So I'm at level, and these are all by level. So if I'm at level 24, I might want to see what is a good level 25 ship that I can capture. Like here's the Agamemnon bark, right? The only problem is you have to be a cutthroat to sail that. I'm not a cutthroat. I'm a buccaneer. So let's go back. And some of these, a lot of these you will see are obsolete. These are ships that used to be in the game. Kind of toward the end of SOE owning it, and still ongoing with Portalus. They've eliminated a bunch of ships from the game. I think mainly so they can put their own in. All the best ships, I shouldn't say all the best, but most of the best ships now require a person to buy or to have acquired things from their shop. They have to make money somehow, I understand, and I don't have a problem with that, but some of their changes, like in any game, some changes I just don't understand. Here's a Cerberus frigate. Now, see, is level 25. there's no limitation here on who can use it, so I can use it. And then the thing you want to do is check, okay, what is my current ship? My current ship is the Postillon frigate. And then what is the Cerberus frigate? Well, main thing is it has 22 9-pounders. I have 20 9-pounders right now. And it has 2 fore and 2 aft 9-pounders. Then you look at things like hull strength. Actually, my hull strength is better, but I do have a modification up here. So, that might be a nice ship because it has 2 more main guns and it has fore and aft guns, which are kind of nice if you're chasing or being chased by someone. To be totally honest, 2 guns is not going to help a lot, but it helps a little bit. So that might be a nice ship for me to go into at level 25. So just remember, if you are playing this game, F1 is the answer to so many questions. I mean, because look at all of this. Here's different recipes for like raw material. If I need to breed pigs, it tells me I need 4 hours of labor. I need 20 doubloons. It makes 2 pigs, and it's used by the farm or the farm estate. I notice it doesn't talk at all about the shitting shop provisions, which I talked about in the last video. But, there's just recipe books you can pick up. You can pick these up in loot, and you can buy them. Like this treatise on shipbuilding would teach me, if I had it in my possession and then I used it, how to construct a colossal hull, how to saw oak frame timbers at a lumber mill, and how to saw oak keels at a lumber mill. You need to know some of these basic recipes in order to make things. Like here's a discourse on forest trees. It allows one to draft iron logging camp plans, etc., etc. There's just pretty much everything you want to know about this game you can find here, or else you probably can't find it. A lot of the times, too, speaking of this F1, if you ask a question in chat, as I did when I saw the shop rations, I was like, what the hell are shop rations? And some person put in as their answer, F1. It's like, thank you very much, you SOB. I know how to F1, but the answer is there, right? It's just a change that I wasn't familiar with, so I thought the easy way is just ask in chat. You notice most of these videos, national chat tends not to be that active. I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One of those reasons is, and probably the primary one, is that most people are in societies, and most societies use TeamSpeak or some other means of communication. So anyway, this has been Cobalt Zed, speaking through Bartholomew Rogers. Just another update on Pirates of the Burning Sea, which, as I said before, available from Portalus, Portalus. You can just Google them. It's free to play. You don't have to buy it. You just download it, create an account, and boom, off you go. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you later.